Alright, hey guys. So this will be part two of me answering questions. I know it's been a while, things got a little crazy. I ended up getting my surgery faster than I thought. So there was that process and then going back to work and stuff like that. But this will be answering questions part two. If I end up getting more questions, then I'll do more parts, but this is all I got for right now. So do you have a support group? Sorry, they're doing fireworks outside and my window's open. Do you have a support group? And did I imagine that I'd receive a lot of grief for my decision? Yes, I do have a support group. You know, my friends, I have a bunch of friends and they live all over, and we actually all met on Zoom. They are all a part of the Alphabet Mafia, is what I like to call us, and they've been real supportive. They've definitely, obviously, they're not going to know exactly what I'm going through because there's not really anybody in the group that's like me, but they know the trials and tribulations of being a part of the Alphabet Mafia. And then obviously, my family, they've been really cool about it. They've definitely adjusted a lot better to, calling me Dominic and Dom and using the right pronouns. They've definitely got a lot better about doing that, so that's really cool. In terms of did I think I would receive grief for it, honestly, yeah, I thought I would. Not from anybody specific, but just in general, but I didn't really care. If you watched one of my other videos, like I said, I'm doing it for me. I'm not doing it for anybody else, so I could really care less what other people think or, their opinions on it. Has the process given me more confidence, and were you in... I think that says in secret before, or no, sorry. I'm reading from a book that has, like, water stains on it, and so part of the words are gone. So I'm just kind of, guessing on what it said. But yes, has the process given me more confidence? Yes, it has, especially since I had top surgery. So, like, if you haven't seen, like, it's flat now. There's no titties there anymore. I am coming up on my 3-month mark post-op. I had my surgery in March, and I couldn't be more happy. It's a weight off my shoulders, if you know what I mean. But also just, it just makes me feel more normal, and more like who I'm supposed to be. It's nice not having to put a bra on every day or think about what bra I'm going to wear or if I'm going to wear a sports bra. So that's really nice. But it definitely has given me more confidence. Having to change out my wardrobe has probably been one of the hardest parts about that, though, just because I don't have style as a guy. Like, it's weird. Like, when I dress up, and I know I look good, but, like, in terms of just everyday wear, my wardrobe usually consists of just basketball shorts and sweats, and then, like, whatever tank top or t-shirt I can find to throw on. So, there's that. Was I out before? Yes, but I wasn't out as trans. Like I said before, I went through stages. So I started out, thinking I was bi, and then, I kind of thought, well, maybe I'm lesbian since I'm really only sexually attracted to females, and, then we came to the in conclusion that was meant to be in a man's body, that I am trans, I am a trans male. So was I always trans before? No, I am now, and I'm not going back. Do you feel sexy and manly during this process? I really want to know who asked me this question because I kind of have an idea of who might have asked me, but I can't remember. And it's kind of funny. Do I feel sexy? Obviously not on an everyday basis. Like, like the normal amount, I guess. I still have my own insecurities. But, like I said, when I dress up, and, like, I know I look good. I'm definitely gaining a lot more confidence and, like, feeling a little, like, sexier, knowing that my mustache is growing in, because I have my little peach fuzz growing in, and then like my sideburns have been really growing into like a beard. So I've been noticing like the little baby hairs. Like you can't see it right now, but if you look like really close, it's there. So I'm very proud of that. And yes, it does make me feel sexy. And I do feel manlier. I don't feel like to the manliest that I could be. Obviously, that's still because there are still things that are happening, changes that are happening, my voice got deeper, yes. I do wish it was a little bit deeper. May or may not go deeper, I don't know. And right now I've been hitting the gym, so I feel like once I get my body right, then I'll feel a little bit more manly. I know that sounds really weird, and like I don't know what the word is, proper word for it. I just know it sounds weird, but it's I'm not trying to be like, my body figure is what makes me a man. I know that's not the case, but it just makes me feel more comfortable when I'm in shape, and that I know would make me feel a lot more manly is if I was actually in shape. And right now at the moment I am not. Has this changed you mentally, physically, and emotionally in a bad or a good way, or both? I would say that this has physically changed me for the better. Absolutely. I'm not going back. Would never want boobs ever again. No. Emotionally and mentally, I would say 50-50. And I only say 50-50 because going through this process is hard. Even if you have a support system, it's hard. And it's a lot. It's a lot mentally. It's a lot emotionally. One of the things, they always say that after you get your top surgery that there's the post-op depression. And I don't think mine kind of hit me right away. And I honestly don't even feel like it was a full-on like depression episode. I know that for a minute there, like, I wasn't thinking, like, oh my God, what did I do? Like, was this the right decision? It was just more so, like, I've done it, and I'm happy that I've done it, but it's just so hard, and it took a physical toll on my body because, I did have, surgery and not being able to move my arms to the fullest degree, and then going back to work, and my job is a job that, requires me to use my arms a lot, and so there was that. Obviously, being on T in itself is an emotional roller coaster because, at least for me, I still kind of struggle with my dysphoria and, where that kind of comes into play. Like, yes, I'm on T and all this other stuff. And I do consider myself a man. I am a man. I tell people I am a man. But you are reminded on a regular basis that you're not a cisgender man, and that you still might not have an appendage that a cisgender man has, or you still have appendages that a cisgender man doesn't have. So it's 50-50. Like, I have my good days and I have, my bad days where like I'm deep in thought, and, I have to kind of bring myself out of that and remember that, like, I'm doing this for me and that it's all going to be okay. That, it's not the end of the world kind of thing. So yeah, 50-50. I will say that when you go through this process, if you go through this process, that you definitely want to be in a good state of mind. You want to start out in a good state of mind. And so I'm really glad that when I started, I was in a good state of mind, even with my dysphoria. Like, I just feel like mentally, like I was ready. Just because, like I said, it does get hard at times. You are, like, you're constantly reminded, like, you're not like a normal cisgendered male. And I still do get misgendered even today. Like, people, I had a lady ask me, they asked my coworkers, can that lady help me again? And I was the one that helped her. And I was just thinking, like, I don't have boobs, like, touch my chest. I was like, they're not there anymore. My voice is deep. At least I feel like, it's deep. And she still called me a lady. Like, she thought I was a female. So It's a 50-50. You definitely have to be mentally ready for that. Um, what are your feelings about having a baby one day? Do you want kids or a family one day? I do want kids. A lot of people actually think I don't want kids. They think I don't like kids, and I think that's kind of funny because I love kids. I just don't like kids that are bad, that like their parents did not teach them any home training and they're just disrespectful. That's what I don't like. But I do want kids. I love kids. Uh, I mean, there are a lot of factors that factor into whether or not I want, kids in the future. Like I do want them, but with how things are going in the world right now, I do have that on my mind as well. But I do want them. Uh, I did think about, when they were asking me about starting tea and things like that when I first started, they ask you, have you thought about kids? Do you want to save eggs? Did you want to save some of your eggs? Or, you have the option to stop taking tea and then you can, get pregnant that way if you like. When you have bottom surgery, they'll ask you, did you want to keep anything? And, I had to really think about that. Like, do I want kids that are genetically mine? Do I want to use my eggs to have a little mini me running around, to know that genetically and biologically that is my child? And I would like that, but at the same time, there are other factors in my life. Like, I do have a irritable bowel disease. I have Crohn's disease. I have moderate to severe Crohn's disease, and it affects me every day of my life. Um, and I was told it is genetic, so I also have that to weigh in as well. Like if I have kids and they come from me, there is that possibility that I could pass that on to my children, and I would never want that to be thrusted upon my kids, because I know what it was like going through that at 12, 11, 12 years old, and being poked and prodded all the time. I have to get a medication for the rest of my life. Like it sucks. So I always take that into an account. But if, nowadays they're talking about they can create, sperm out of bone marrow so that two females can genetically have kids together that are both genetically and biologically theirs. So, I was thinking I might go that route. Obviously, it's still early on in the stages, and there's, still some trials and tribulations they're going through with that kind of method. But hopefully by the time that, I'm ready to have kids, it'll be better. And I'd probably go that route. But for me, I'm not really planning on saving my eggs. I'm not, planning on keeping anything in that way, shape, or form. So, yes. But there's always options of, like, adoption and things like that. This is something to think about. If you're going through this, like how I'm going through this, you definitely want to keep that in mind, because that is a big thing, like, that's your family lineage. That's your bloodline that you could be, stopping with you, like, right there. So, it's a good question. Good to keep that in mind, though. What is the most important what is the most important to you in this process as far as self-care and continuing the process? Most important to me would probably just be to make sure that I'm happy. To make sure that, I'm taking care of myself mentally and emotionally, because like I said, it's a 50-50 right now. Like, yes, I have my good days, but yes, I have my bad days. So just making sure that I am aware of maybe when I need to just take a beat and chill out, or, when I'm okay, and, acknowledge that I'm doing, good and taking care of myself. And just making sure that, I continue to do this for me, and that I'm happy with my decisions. Because this isn't, it's not an easy process. It's not. And even though on the outside, I might seem okay, like I know, like, I go to work, I got friends, and to them I might seem perfectly fine, but I might be having a bad day. So for me, it's like I said, it's very important to make sure that I'm taking care of me, that the decisions that I make are for me, and that it's contributes to my well-being. And if it's something that I don't like, then, you know I can fix it. I need to fix it. But yeah. Yeah. Let me see. Is there a routine you have to stick to, and how long is the process, or is it a lifelong thing that could potentially be harmful in the long run? Routine wise, the only routinely thing that I have to do is inject myself with my testosterone, and that's every other week. I absolutely have the option to stop taking testosterone, and I talked to the nurse about that, and she said I can, but obviously some of the changes will revert back. My voice will not go back to as high as it was. I will always have this deep of a voice. Unless it gets deeper, then I'll have that deep of a voice. But, like the fat redistribution will change. Obviously, I'm never going to have my boobs again. Those aren't coming back. I don't want them back. But, just, yeah, the fat redistribution, we'll have less hair. Well, less hair than I have now. I had hair before. All females have hair generally. But, I got more hair taking testosterone, the facial hair and, the leg hair got coarser and all that. So, less hair, things like that. And the ability to like build muscle as fast as I can, that will all change. So there's that. But besides routine wise, yeah, it's really just taking the testosterone. As far as I know, there is no like long-term negative effect. There are like medical effects that could happen, like high blood pressure. I know they were saying like watching out for that. One of them is balding, but it doesn't happen in everybody. It really just kind of depends on your genetics with the balding. I don't have balding in my family. The people that are bald in my family choose to be bald, but I don't have like just natural balding. But the high blood pressure and things like that, they keep an eye out because, testosterone can affect that. And it does raise your red blood cell count. So every so often I do have to go and get my blood test done. And it's maybe like every 4 to 6 injections. So it's like, 6 months? Maybe every 6 months. So twice a year. 2 to 3 times a year, I have to go get my blood tested just to make sure that like my testosterone levels are where they need to be, and they're not going over or they're not under, and just to make sure that there's not too much red blood cells in my body, because that could potentially be harmful as well. So there is that. What are some of the harmful effects of tea in the long run? Am I going with the flow or am I scared? Like I said, high blood pressure, high red blood cell count, things like, the possibility of balding. That doesn't run in my family. It's, so I don't really have to worry about that too much. And am I going with the flow? Yes, I am very much going with the flow. I tried to make sure I knew as much as I could before even starting this process. And I'm still learning as I'm going through this process. I don't really find that I'm scared. I wasn't scared when I got my surgery. I was actually really excited. Like, everybody kept asking me, are you scared? Are you scared? And I was like, no, like, I just can't wait to get these things off. Like, take them off of me, like, now. So there was that. And if you saw my last video, or if you didn't see my last video, go watch that one, because I do, take videos throughout my surgery day, so you kind of see me before my surgery, like when I was waiting, and then you see me like literally right after my surgery, right after, once I woke up from the anesthetic. I took that video. That was the first thing I did, was pull out my phone and record myself, because I wanted to remember to like document that. And I did a little what's it called, did a little eulogy for my boobs before they took them, and I just let them know, hey, they're nice, you guys were nice for the time being, but y'all gotta go. So I'm really just kind of having a bunch of fun with it. I take it seriously, obviously, but like, I'm gotta have fun with it a little. Do I ever think that maybe this isn't a good decision? No. No, no, I don't. For me, at least, no, I don't. I have definitely heard, that there are people out there who believe, or maybe that have gone through top surgery and or bottom surgery, either or, and it wasn't what they really wanted. It didn't make them happier, and they reverted back to being a female, or as much as they could be a female, and that's okay. That's their decision. It just wasn't right for them. But for me, this is absolutely right. I'm not going back. I don't want to go back. I don't miss it. I don't miss having periods. I don't miss having cramps. I don't miss really having those what are they called? Not stereotypes, but just that the pressure of being a female in American society. I don't miss any of that. I really don't. I don't miss having to buy clothes that I have to worry about making sure they get over my boobs. If you know me, then you knew I had Tiggle bitties to tonskers. I had 32 double D's sitting right here on my chest, and every time I had to buy clothes, I always had to make sure that I bought like a size bigger, to get over them. If I bought a bra, it was always had to test it just to make sure that like it really fit everything, because they'd be spilling out. They had a mind of their own. It was all types of crazy, and I hated it. Like I wouldn't go back. I mean, I will never deny that I was a female. Like, I know a big thing for my family was, do we have to take the pictures down of you that, of when you were a female? Do we have to basically deny that you were ever a female? And I told them, like, no, I'm not going to deny that I was ever a female. That's just a part of my life. It's just a different chapter. And in this moment, that chapter is behind us. We've made it past that chapter. Now, if somebody asks me about it or it comes up in conversation, I will absolutely am completely honest about it. If I'm okay with you, if I like you. There's some people you just don't even know my business, but but I will absolutely be honest, and I don't deny it. It was what it was. It is what it is. Like, I will never deny that part of me. That was a part of my life. There are people who met me and knew me as the female version of me. But this is me now. This is who I'm going by Dominic. I am Dominic. Like, there is no going back. And I can only go forward from here. And I hope that, people who know me or get to know me will go forward with me and not necessarily hang on to that past chapter of my life. But I don't see it as a bad thing. It's just, it is what it is. So that was the end of my questions. Yeah, that was pretty much it. If you find that you have any questions for whoever watches this, please leave a comment. If you have my number, text me. I'll answer most questions, as long as they're respectful. Like I said, I do this because I don't know, I feel like there are a lot of videos on transgenders, but not a lot of them go into like such great detail, or like they leave some things out, because of a social norm or whatever. I'm trying not to do that. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I will write them down in my handy dandy notebook, and I will answer them in the next video if there is a next video. But yeah, till next time.